guys, welcome back to another album review. Today I'm going to be talking about Phobia by Breaking Benjamin. This is their third album, and it's an album I've been thinking about reviewing for a long time, but didn't do so until now because of Ember coming out soon. And I know there's been tons of Breaking Benjamin videos lately, and that is because of Ember coming out. That's leading up to Ember. I really hope you guys enjoy the rest of these album reviews. Today is going to be Phobia, next week will be Dear Agony, and then the week after will be Ember. Yeah, that's how that's going to go as far as this schedule thing that I'm doing. This album is generally seen as Breaking Benjamin's most popular album. I mean, I do think that Dear Agony and Dark Before Dawn are probably more popular as in like sales and stuff, but I feel like Breaking Benjamin in general is recognized as the band that did Phobia, you know? Phobia was just such a recognizable album. It had big singles on it and it did so much for the band. It shaped their signature sound that they still have. Let's start by talking about track 1, which is the intro. There's not much to say about this one because it is very short. It starts with the car door closing, and then there are these harmonious guitar riffs with, I think it is a wah pedal effect on them. There's these sounds of people talking in the background, which is kind of interesting. The guitar riffs kind of sound like The Diary of Jane, which is logical because The Diary of Jane is the next song, and we're going to get into track 2, which is The Diary of Jane. This song is not only Breaking Benjamin's most popular song, but it's also one of the most recognized hard rock songs of the mid-2000s by far. The opening guitar riffs that build up to the climax is where Breaking Benjamin really built their signature sound that they do. They do that all the time nowadays. They'll have this moody guitar riff that kind of sounds like The Diary of Jane. I mean, they did it in Red Cold River, they did it in Failure. They're pretty much doing it for every single like lead single. Whenever they release a new album, they're kind of doing that nowadays. The rhythm in the verse actually kind of sounds metalcore inspired. I've been hearing this for years and I'm surprised no one mentions that. I think it's honestly just because of the double bass. The vocal melody in this chorus is really catchy and it got so huge, you know, I mean, it's just such a hook that grabs you. And it makes perfect sense why the song blew up like it did. The lyrics are some of the best in any Breaking Benjamin song. It's talking about this sort of one-sided relationship where a man is in love with this woman, Jane. He just is desperate to like win over this girl, you know? And he says, like, I still try to find my place in the Diary of Jane, you know, it's kind of sad to be honest. Track 3 is Breath, and this was the second single, I believe. It got pretty popular too. Not as popular, but I think it did reach number 1. This is actually where the album starts to get better, which is kind of funny because the Diary of Jane is obviously so good, but I mean, I'd say these next 2 tracks coming up are actually better. Its instrument work in general was really good. The bass line is very entertaining in the verses, as simple as it is, and it really adds a lot to the song. It drives it forward. The chorus here is one of their best choruses. It has a lot of variety in it from first chorus to second chorus, and the lyrics are very emotional here in more of a vague way. One of the best songs on the album for sure. Now going into track 4, we have You, and this is my favorite song on Phobia, I would actually say. Going through the whole song, we have the intro, which has a very moody guitar, and for a few seconds it's simply that little guitar riff and Ben singing, and then the drums kind of kick in and start to drive the verse forward. Back then Chad was actually their drummer. He was an amazing drummer. I honestly think he is the best drummer out of the 3 that Breaking Benjamin has ever had, and you can even tell just by this little simple part in the verse, you can tell, you know, he's very creative with what he does. The transition into the chorus is very smooth. The chorus is big, epic, and yet it expresses such sorrow, such deep sadness in the lyrics. The lyrics are really just a warning to maybe someone younger than Ben to just not make the same mistakes he did. That last guitar chord that is strummed in the chorus is very unsettling, and Ben singing the word you really leads back into the verse very well. It gets me so emotional most of the time when I listen to this one. And honestly, I could talk for days about the incredible build-up and the bridge, and Ben's unbelievably passionate vocals that harmonize with the lead vocals. It's a masterful song, so well made, and like definitely one of my favorite Breaking Benjamin songs, one of my favorite songs in general ever. And going into track 5 is Evil Angel, and this song actually has some of my all-time favorite lead guitar parts of any Breaking Benjamin song. One of their best guitar songs for sure. The verse is a lot calmer. It features some of Ben's best vocals in my opinion, just because of the way he sings, like, no and don't. It's not as easy as it sounds. Trust me. Going into the instrumentation, Mark has a really good bass line in the second verse that kind of leads into the next chorus very well. It really stuck out to me. The bridge takes a different path, and there's kind of a nice guitar solo. It's kind of a simple solo. It's just got some really nice lead guitars to it, and I think my favorite part in this song is actually the little lead guitar bit in the last chorus. Track 6 is Until the End. There's one thing that really pisses me off about this song actually, even though this is a really good song, and it is the dramatic difference in dynamics between the hard rock heaviness in the intro compared to the very mellow verse and the very mellow chorus in this ballad. It is a ballad, yet the intro sets it up to be a metal tinge song, and then it's like not. It awkwardly drops back into the very quiet verse, and then from the chorus it awkwardly just gets into that main riff. One thing I do like about this song is actually the chorus, because it's really anthemic, it has some good vocals. The lyrics here seem very hopeless until the very end. The lyrics are saying, "The final fight I win." So it kind of brings a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Track 7 is Dance with the Devil. This is one of the highlights on the album, I would say. The verse is completely carried by the solid drums and bass, mostly, especially the drums. The chorus has a very good bass line too, actually, and it's another one of Breaking Benjamin's catchiest vocal melodies. But the best part actually comes in the bridge because of its guitar work and overall instrumentation in general, and they're mixed really well. And the guitar riff right before Ben sings the word "hold on" is like the best thing ever. I also really like the piano at the end of the song. I just kind of wish it had more of a bigger role in the song. Track 8 is Topless, and if I had to choose a least favorite on the album, this would be it, actually. It's just so short, so brief. It's a little bit of a confusing song. I mean, come on. I love your face, just get away. It's like, what? The verse is actually kind of one of the weaker parts of this song. It's very short, and the vocal harmonies seem hollow. Maybe that's what they were going for, but I just don't like the sound of that part. The chorus actually picks things up, though. The chorus is very good. It has some interesting guitar riffs that lead back into the verse. But my favorite part of the song is actually the bridge, because of the faster parts of the guitars that lead into the bridge, and Ben's very well executed screaming. Seriously, his screaming technique was so good on this album. Like, oh my gosh. That's why I'm liking the newest singles, because it kind of seems like he's bringing back that technique a little bit. Even my least favorite song is great, you guys. What even is this album? Is this album even like a thing? Does this album even exist? Track 9 is Here We Are, and honestly, this gets the award for most underappreciated song on Phobia. I don't see anyone talk about this one, yet this song is so moving. It just tugs at your heartstrings. It's another very sad ballad. Nice clean effect on the guitars are beautiful. They blend with the acoustic guitars perfectly, and Ben also sounds like he got his saturate voice back in parts of this song because he's singing a little higher pitched. The chorus actually has an interesting chord progression. It sounds very dark. The lyrics are likely some of the most lonely sounding lyrics in Breaking Benjamin's discography, and also some of the best written on the album. The guitar solo is very calm, very serene, and slower paced. It adds some personality and distinction to this song, and I really just love this one. I'm probably going to include it in my favorites too. Track 10 is Unknown Soldier. This song is one that many Breaking Benjamin fans consider a very special song to them. Since this song is dedicated to all the veterans, the verse is very beautifully haunting. It showcases Ben's very clear lower range, and the chorus is straightforward, easy to grasp with its guitar parts, and it's very easy to sing along to also. It's very big. It seems kind of anthemic, you know? Show me what it's like to dream in black and white so I can leave this world. It's just so beautiful. The main guitar riff is actually one of the weaker parts of the song, I think, and I gotta praise the bridge too. The bridge is incredible. The backup vocals that Ben is doing in falsetto sound very nice, and then Ben has that line, "They're only broken bones." It's kind of crazy that I didn't used to like this one as much in the past, but it's really grown on me over time. Now track 11 is Had Enough. Now this is a very different song from the last couple ones. Personally, I actually like the acoustic version of this song more, the acoustic version that's actually found on the best of, like, Shallow Bay, whatever album, which is ironic because that's what caused the hiatus. The lyrics here are some of Breaking Benjamin's angriest lyrics, and a lot of fans have theorized that it was written about past drummer Jeremy Hummel because apparently, like, he couldn't really commit to being in the band and like some issues went on. I don't know the whole backstory, and I don't even know if this song is about him for a fact. I really love how the chords go together in the chorus. The bridge mellows things down a bit before it goes into the explosive last chorus, and Ben's ending screams are just amazing. Probably my favorite part about this song. Track 12 is You Fight Me. The combination of piano and low-tuned bass in this intro sets up this song to be sort of an outsider on the album, and I like how this song is a bit unique in its verse. It's certainly their most experimental verse on the album, and it leads into the pre-chorus interestingly, where the electronics kind of come and go suddenly. The chorus is where the guitars really pick up and start to drive the song forward. They become more heavy sounding. And it's a bit simplistic in its lyrics because I'm pretty sure it's like, this is how it's gonna end, like over and over. That's why I like the verse a little bit more. And this song also deserves more attention. I think it's pretty underrated. I don't hear a whole lot of people talk about it. But I do think Here We Are is a better song that deserves way more attention, so I'd say that's the most underrated one on the album. Personally, I think a string section in the bridge, which should have been longer by the way, would have really improved the song. And overall, there are just some little things like that I wish they would have included in this one, and I wish they would have made it a little longer. And as a closing song, I do think it lacks some things like that, but as a song on its own, it's another very great song, and I'm glad Breaking Benjamin brought in some pianos and some experimental little things like that. Track 13 is the outro. I'm not gonna lie, I literally never listen to this outro. I don't really see why they included this. The guitars are way too twangy. They get very high-pitched and shrill as the notes climb up and up and up. And it's just like, oh, it's a little grating to me, actually. I'm surprised no one really mentions that. Maybe that's just me. The lead guitar kind of slides awkwardly, like up and down the fretboard. I'm like, what is even happening? And you could say this is my least favorite song on Phobia since I don't really like it. I don't really listen to it very much, but I don't judge it as a full-length song because it's not a full-length song. The intro-outro idea is honestly the one area I think Dark Before Dawn really triumphed heavily over Phobia, because I think the intro and outro on Dark Before Dawn were better. My overall thoughts: this is probably the best Breaking Benjamin album. The production and mixing are amazing everywhere on this album, and that was the area Saturate, which is technically my favorite Breaking Benjamin album. I don't know, I think these two are probably tied. Some of the verses and structures of these songs do blend together, and so this album gets a very solid 10 out of 10, perfect score. I hope this isn't a trend for me rating 10 out of 10s all the time. Spoiler alert, this trend will be broken by next week. So stay tuned for the Dear Agony review coming on Friday. I honestly think the reason I ranked it at number 3 when it came to my favorite Breaking Benjamin albums is mostly because I was a little biased. It was actually the album I forgot to import into my laptop, so I've been listening to all the other Breaking Benjamin albums way more often. That's my review for it. I really love this album. I've already said how much I loved it. So I really want to hear what you guys think of this album in the comments, and if you think it's their best album or even if it's overrated. I've heard that perspective from a few people in the past. And so thanks for watching this video, guys. See you in the next video.